Good morning, everybody. Today we begin new course of general biology. I am your teacher of general biology. My name is Natalia Anatolievna Kurnosova. The biology course includes 18 lectures and about 36 practical sessions. You will have an exam at the end of the first course in summer. What requirement for lectures? The lecture material must be written down in a notebook. You need to study it and rewrite the basic concept in a notebook. Your teacher will review your writing at the end of the semester. You must send a photo of your lecture book for review in one file at the end of the semester. The teacher who will lead the practice session in your group will tell you the detailed practice requirements. In a practical lesson, you should write down the material, if required, in a notebook, make drawings with color pencil in album. Albums and exercise book will also be reviewed by your teacher. And on this slide you see example of album and example of drawing in album. At the end of each practice lesson, there will be a test on the previous topic, which you should prepare for lesson. You must first learn the material well before starting the test. It's very important. The test opens for a limited time. If you have not learned the material and are looking for answers in books and on internet, you will not have time to answer all the test questions and will receive a bad mark. Therefore, it is necessary to study homework for each lesson. If a student gets a bad mark on a test, he cannot retake it. He should prepare well for the next test on the next topic. At the end of the first year, in summer, students who receive many bad marks will answer orally these topics. Since classes are held online, all students must have a video camera turned on and sound. The sound is muted during the lesson and turned on only at the request of the teacher. You must organize your workspace in the class. During the lesson, you must have a good appearance. You must sit at the table in front of the computer monitor, listen and record the material. It's strictly forbidden to talk during class. Turn on music, draw on the screen, make noise. Students who violate discipline will be removed from the class. And the first question of our lecture today, the structure of light microscope and rules for working with it. On this picture you see student microscope. Microscope Biolam P11. The microscope is an essential tool in modern biology. It allows us to view structural details of organs, tissue, and cells not visible to the naked eye. The microscope consists of three parts: mechanical part, optical part, and lighting part. The mechanical part of microscope includes a base, number 1 on this picture, a mechanical stage with a round hole in the middle, number 3. The object is placed on a stage. The light beam allowing us to condense the objects and transmitted light passes through the hole in the middle of the stage. The cos focus adjustment knob, number 7, is located on the sides of the base. The arm of microscope, number 12, during the rotation of this knob, goes up and down to focus the image. The fine focus adjustment knob you see on the base is located on the base. The rotation moves the M slightly and is used for precise focusing. Again, mechanical parts consist of base, arm, mechanical stage. Optical part of microscope presents eyepiece, number 6, and lens, number 5. The eyepiece is at the top of the tube and facing the eye. The eyepiece is a lens system enclosed in a metal tube. The numerals on the upper surface of the eyepiece means its magnification, maybe times 7, times 10, times 15, and other variants. A rotating plate, a revolver, it's number 4, in which there are 4 sockets for lenses, is situated on the opposite side, in this place. The objective lens is a lens system enclosed in a common metal frame. What you see, objective lens, number 5. The lens is screwed into the socket of the revolver. The magnification of the lens is written on the size surface, on this size. There are small lens magnification, for example, time 8, lens high magnification, time 40, and immersion lens used for the study of the smallest objects, for example, time 100. Maybe other magnification on the lens in other microscope. The total magnification of the microscope, total magnification, is equal to the magnification of the eyepiece times the magnification of the lens. For example, if magnification of eyepiece times 7, magnification of lens times 40, total magnification will be 7 times 40, 280. So optical parts includes eyepiece and lens. Lighting part of the microscope consists of a mirror, or what in this region must be mirror, or a special lighting lamps, not shown on this slide. The condenser and diaphragm. Condenser includes diaphragm. Diaphragm is shown in this picture under number 11. The condenser is a subject under the state. It consists of 2 or 3 lenses entered into a joint frame. Changing the position of the condenser above or below, you can modify the intensity of light. The condenser adjustment knob, number 9, located anterior to the cos focus adjustment knob, is to move the condenser. When lowering the condenser, the lighting is reduced. When raising the condenser, the lighting is increased. The diaphragm is used to regulate lighting. With a special level on the right side of the condenser, it is possible to change the position of the diaphragm plate relative to each other and reduce or expand the hole in the diaphragm. This allows you to adjust the intensity of the light and make the image more contrast. On this slide you see description of mechanical parts, optical parts, and lighting parts of microscope. And I want to show you other microscope and two main parts on this microscope. What you see other microscope. What difference? You can see cos focus adjustment knob on the arm, and next to fine focus adjustment knob number 6. On first microscope, fine focus adjustment knob will be on the base. You can see also revolver with lens and ocular on the tube. It's condenser lamp number 15, condenser knob number 7. On this microscope you see close focus adjustment knob on the arm and fine focus adjustment knob next to on the base, but on this place. Condenser, diaphragm, other element same on the first microscope. This microscope has two ocula and close focus adjustment knob number 4 and fine focus adjustment knob number 5. 8 lamp, condenser 9, mechanical state 10, lens 11, other elements same. See again on this microscope how to view an object under the microscope. Use the close focus adjustment knob to maximize the working distance. It's distance between the state and objective lens. This distance, maximize. Rotate the revolver into position with the scanning power, time 8, objective lens, in the viewing position. Turn the revolver until you hear a slight click and the lens is fixed. Using close focus adjustment knob, lift the lens above the state to height approximately 0.5 centimeter, so it's only 5 millimeter. Remember that the study of any object starts with a small magnification, only small magnification time 8. Open the diaphragm and slightly lift the condenser. Looking into the eyepiece of its left eye, rotate the mirror in different direction until the field of view is illuminated brightly and evenly. After that, place the slide on the state so that the object was in the center of its hole under objective lens. Look into the eyepiece. At the same time, slowly rotate a close focus adjustment knob on yourself. Lift the objective lens up until an image of object is shown in the field of view. Remember that the focal length for a small magnification of approximately 7 millimeter. When will be 7 millimeter between objective lens and object, you can see objects under microscope. For consideration of the object at high magnification of the microscope, place it in the center of the field of view. Adjust the sharpness of the image using a fine focus adjustment knob. Rotating the revolver, put in working position of the lens at high magnification, for example, time 40. Remember that when focusing on an object at high magnification, it is necessary to work only with fine focus adjustment knob. If you will use close focus adjustment knob, you will break slide. Rotate the fine focus adjustment knob, this number 8, in one direction or another to achieve a script image of the object. If the image of the object is missing, repeat the operation specified in paragraph 6 to 9. After that, draw the objects in album. So, we considered structure of lighting microscope and rules of working with microscope. Remember that the study of any object starts with a small magnification, focal length for a small magnification of approximately 70 mm, and that when focusing on an object at high magnification, is necessary to work only with fine focus adjustment knob. Second question of our lecture. The properties of the living and the level of organization of life. Firstly, consider properties of the living. All living organisms have 5 basic characteristics. The first characteristics, order. All organisms consist of one or more cells with highly ordered structures. Atoms make up molecules which construct cellular organelles which are contained within cell. This hierarchical organization continues at high level in multicellular organisms and among organisms. On this picture you see how a lot of atoms form molecule, for example, molecule of DNA. Molecules form organelles, for example, nucleus includes molecule of DNA. Organelles form cell. Cell consists of a lot of different organelles, nucleus, membrane and non-membrane organelles. For example, nervous cell. A lot of cells form tissue. For example, nervous cells form nervous tissue. Tissues form organ. For example, nervous tissue, connective tissue, circulatory, form brain. Organs form organ system. For example, brain, spinal cord form nervous system. Organ systems form organism. Now, on this picture you see brown pelican. Organisms form population. You can see group of brown pelicans. Populations form community. Это all organisms on the, for example, Florida coasts. are communities with habitat form ecosystem. All ecosystems of our planet form biosphere. Remember the first properties of life, order. Next properties, sensitivity. All organisms respond to stimuli. Plants grow to a source of light, and your pupils dilate when you walk into a dark room. And you see on this picture, if the hydra to step with a needle, it shrinks into a ball. You see plants grow to a source of light. Next properties, growth, development, and reproduction. What is growth? Growth is the process of increasing of the weight or volume of the organism or its structure, which is accompanied by a quantitative change. For example, increasing the number of cells. Development, the process of transition from one state to another, more perfect. The transition from an old qualitative state to a new qualitative state, from simple to complex, from lower to higher. Reproduction is the ability to reproduce itself. All organisms are capable of growing and reproducing, and they all possess hereditary molecules that are passed to their offspring, ensuring that offspring are of the same species. Also, crystals also grow. Their growth doesn't involve hereditary molecules. Next, properties of life, regulation. Regulation is the ability to coordinate the internal functions of the body. All organisms have regulatory mechanisms that coordinate the organism's internal functions. These functions include supplying cells with nutrients, transporting substances through the organisms, and many others. In this picture, you can see the interaction between the hypothalamus and pituitary glands. This shows the work of the hypothalamic pituitary systems. The hypothalamus secretes hormones that either stimulate or inhibit the pituitary gland. In response, the pituitary gland secretes its hormones, which affect the peripheral endocrine gland by regulating their work and secretion of their hormones. The hormones of these glands affect various processes in our body. For example, hypothalamus produces thyrotropin-releasing hormones. These hormones influence of pituitary glands, and pituitary glands produce TC8 hormone. TC8 hormone influence on thyroid glands, and thyroid gland produce thyroid hormones. Next properties, homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability to maintain relatively constant internal condition different from the environment. And you can see there are three components interact: receptor, integrator, and effector. Stimulus, input into the system, and influence on the receptor. Receptor is free nervous ending in the skin, for example. Integrator such as the brain, and effector a muscle or a gland. And the response system's output. The response to the stimuli leads to taint. The taint is fed back to the receptor. In negative feedback, the response of the system cancels or counteracts the effect of the original stimulus. In this picture, you can see the process of regulation of the level of calcium in the blood. For example, stimulus, falling blood calcium level. After that, parathyroid gland is located behind thyroid gland, with yellow point on this picture, produce PT8 hormones. These hormones influence on kidney and influence of bones. And you can see stimulated calcium uptake in kidney and stimulated calcium released from bones. Increases calcium uptake in intestine, and as a result, blood calcium level rises. And you can see homeostasis, normal blood calcium level. So, all living things share certain key characteristics: order, sensitivity, growth and development, reproduction, regulation, and homeostasis. And I want that you fill in the gaps in sentence. Repeat material on the first parts of our lecture. What is ability to maintain a relatively constant internal condition different from the environment? Correct answer. Homeostasis. Next question. The process of increasing the weight or volume of the structure of the organisms, which is accompanied by quantitative changes. For example, increasing the number of cells. Its growth. The process of transition from one state to another more perfect, the transition from an old qualitative state to a new qualitative state, from simple to complex, from lower to higher. Its development is the ability to reproduce itself. Reproduction. The ability to coordinate the internal function of the body. Its regulation. It's the body ability to respond to stimuli of the internal and external environment. Its sensitivity. What same test may be on the test after practical classes. So you must study material firstly. After that, open test and answer the question. Next question of our lecture: the levels of organization of life. In unicellular single-celled organisms, the single cell performs all life functions. It functions independently. However, multicellular, many-celled organisms have various levels of organization within them. Individual cells may perform specific function and also work together for the good of the entire organism. The cells become dependent on one another. The first level of multicellular organism, molecular level. For example, DNA molecule has only some of the properties of life. It is able to store hereditary information and to reproduce by replication. On this slide you see DNA molecule. You must remember that DNA molecule consists of two chains, and each chain consists of nucleotide. Each nucleotide includes three parts: phosphate group, sugar desoxyribose, and nitrogenous base. But structure of DNA molecule we will study next lecture. Next level, cellular level of life organization. On this slide, you see difficult structure of the cell. Each cell surrounded by plasma membrane, and you see plasma membrane surround the cell. Into the cell you can see a lot of different organelles. In the center you can see nucleus with chromatin and nucleolus. Around nucleus you see a lot of cavities of endoplasmic reticulum. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum: rough endoplasmic reticulum with ribosome on the surface and smooth endoplasmic reticulum without ribosome. Next to the nucleus you can see also Golgi apparatus, Golgi complex, a lot of mitochondria which produce energy for activity of cell. You see centrioles, two cylinder next to nucleus 2. Centrioles produce of element of cytoskeleton of the cell. Microtubules, lysosome, trophic function, and function of defense. Microvilli on the surface of membrane. Skeleton of microvilli consists of microfilaments, cells are the basic unit of structure and function in living things, may serve a specific function within the organisms. Cell is an open system bounded from the environment by a membrane and containing within the cytoplasm with organelles and a nucleus for eukaryotic cell. Remember that prokaryotic cell does not have nucleus. On this slide you see different cells. For example, blood cells, nerve cells, bone cells. Next level of life organization, tissue level. What is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells and their derivatives having a common origin, similar structure and function grouped together to perform a specific activity. On the slide you can see muscle tissue number 1, nervous tissue, epithelial tissue number 3, and connective tissue number 4. Next level of life organization, organ level. What is organ? Organ is a constant structure of the body consisting of several tissues that have a particular shape, size, and performs a specific function. On this slide you can see heart, brain, stomach, each organ. But I want to ask you, how you think? Skin, it's organ or a tissue? During practical class, a lot of students say that skin is tissue. But you must think. Organ consists of several tissue. If I see skin, I think. Skin includes epithelial tissue. Skin includes blood vessels. Blood vessels is connective tissue. Skin includes nerves. Nerve is nervous system, nervous tissue. So skin includes epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue. So skin is organ. Also our muscle. Muscle includes a lot of tissue. The main tissue in muscle tissue. But muscle includes also blood vessels, includes nerves, so muscle also organ. Next level, system organ level of organization of life. Organ system is a group of organs that together perform a common activity. For example, the nervous system, endocrine system, circulatory system. On this slide you see digestive system, circulatory system, nervous system. Next level, organismal level of organization of life. The organism is an open system consisting of the interconnected organs and organ systems and have the ability to self-regulation and has new features which are not in individual organ systems. Usually made up of organ systems, but an organism may be made up of only one cell, such as bacteria or protists. Next level, population